Now, one thing I also want to tell you is that sometimes you're going to have flats and sharps in the natural minor or in your melodic minor key. For instance, let's go ahead and do D. So if we do D and we go all the way up to the top, I'm just going to do this really fast for you guys. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. We heard we will have warm weather. From D to E, that's a whole step. From E to F, half step. F to G, it is a whole. G to A is a whole. A to B, oop, that's a half, so we better flat that one. B flat to C is a whole step. C to D is a whole step. Okay, so this D melodic minor only has that B flat in there. Now remember, got to put that B flat over on this side. Now if I raise the 6th and 7th, I'm raising this one and this one. So only one of those notes has a flat on it. The one that has a flat on it, remember, how do we raise a flat? We make it the natural note. Change it down here as well. That C is a plain old C. When you have to raise a C, you're going to sharp it down here as well. So you'll see that in this melodic minor scale, you're going to have sharp, but then you're also going to have a flat in there. So don't let that confuse you and don't freak out. It's okay in this particular form of the scale. Just check those half and whole steps, and I'm sure that you've got it correct. All right. The next method I'm going to show you, and really, if you have understood what we just did, that's the way I learned it. That way works just great. Just memorize that we heard we will have winter weather. Memorize that the 6th and 7th gets raised on the ascending side, and you're good to go. If you are a person who wants to memorize patterns, there is a specific pattern for the melodic minor scale that goes ahead and integrates in that raised 6th and 7th as it compares to the natural. But remember, there's going to be a different pattern to memorize for the way up than on the way down. All right, so the pattern for the way up, if these are my scale steps, it's the same we heard, but then you have 4 whole steps followed by a half step. So if you want to memorize that pattern, you can just memorize that, create any scale. Now remember, this is just the ascending part of the scale. The descending part of the scale is the exact same as natural minor, except since it's descending, it's going to go backwards. So you're going from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, remember. So the way I always, rather than making up another sentence or memorizing it backwards, I just fill it in backwards. So we hope we will have winter weather. Because remember, it's going down, so this is kind of like the beginning of the scale. It's just backwards. Let's go ahead and just do one quick one with this pattern method. Again, it kind of just depends on your learning style. I think this is a lot of memorization as far as H, W, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot to remember because you have natural minor, you have a harmonic minor, then you have melodic pattern go up and go down. But for those of you who are taking this online and have things to refer to, this method might work just great for you because you're not in my class having to memorize everything. So let's go ahead and let's just do, let's see, how about we'll just do F minor melodic and we'll use this pattern. So we'll go F and we'll go up to the top F. We'll go back down. All right, we're going to go ahead and write in our letters F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. And now remember, we're going to write in this pattern right here. Okay, we're not going from natural then raising anything because this is already raised. This already has the raised stuff in there as far as comparing to natural. So the pattern is we heard and then 4 W's and then a half step there at the end. Now this is just the ascending side. Remember, the descending side is different. So the descending side is going to be the reversed natural minor pattern, which we'll do in a second. So let's go ahead and figure this out. So from F, if we go up a whole step, we're on G. From G, when we go up a half step, we're going to be on A flat. From A flat, when we go up a whole, we're on B flat. B flat, we go up a whole, we're on C. C, we go up a whole, we're on D. D, we go up a whole, we're on E. When we get here, is E to F a half? Yes. So this is melodic minor on the way up. All right, let's knock out the descending side of the melodic minor scale. Now remember, the descending side is the same as natural minor, but since the notes are going down, the pattern is basically going backwards from natural minor. So it's written down here and it's on the PowerPoint and it's in your book. The way I remembered, if I were to do it this way, were to just write it down from the bottom going up. So I would write, we heard we will have winter weather. That way I don't have something new to memorize. Remember, when you're going down, you're going to the left on the piano as well. You're going down the scale. So when you're counting those half and whole steps, count to the left, and that'll help you have accurate accidentals or flats that you're going to be marking in. So from my F, when I go down a whole step, that takes me to E flat. From E flat, when I go down a whole step, that takes me to D flat. From D flat, when I go down a half step, I'm on C, so I'm good right there. I don't have to change that C. From C, when I go down a whole step, I end up on that black key that's over there, so I'm on B flat. And really, these notes will be the same as those notes, remember, because the only differences we have are the 6th and 7th. But let's go ahead and finish computing it and just make sure. From B flat, when we go to a whole step, bloop, bloop, we're on A flat. From A flat, when we go down a half step, we're on G. From G, when I go down that last whole step, I should be back to my tonic. All right, let's go ahead, and we don't have the letters written over here, and I told you don't need to, but if you've written your letters down here, make sure that you've changed your letters as well. Not really required, it's okay at this point. I'm going to mostly be grading those notes that are on the staff. Again, this method, it works, and if you are a memory person and you're going to be really careful about those half and whole steps, you can do it this way. I find that most students have the most success just memorizing that we heard we will have winter weather, remembering that harmonic changes just the 7th, going up and going down, they're the same notes, but that melodic is raised 6th and 7th only on the ascending side. Make sure that I've posted a kind of a reference sheet that shows you three different A scales. Shows you A natural minor, shows you A harmonic minor, and it shows you A melodic minor. Because I think that's really good to compare those three because you can kind of see the differences as far as the notes go. So remember, natural, we heard we will have winter weather. Harmonic, same as the above, except raises 7th by a half step, okay? Melodic, same as above, except on the way up, raises 6th and 7th. The way down, it's the same as natural minor. So go ahead and proceed on with your homework as far as your melodic minor. Make sure that your descending side includes the notes and that whatever flats or sharps are in that natural minor. Raise the 6th and 7th on the way up, and you're good to go. Email me if you have any questions.